Hey, welcome to another episode of Tales from the Crate. Thanks for hanging out. I'm Andrew. Going to run you through some records. I'm going to do another 5x5. I like that format. I'm going to give you 5 in the red records, so that's a record label I really like, and then 5 things I'm just currently listening to, and then I'll give you some sound drops in between. I am going to cheat, though, and I'm going to give you one extra this time. I went and I saw a concert Friday night, and it was pretty damn good, and I just want to share for a second. I went and I saw Sabbath, M-A-C, Sabbath, like Black Sabbath. On paper, I don't think this sounds as cool as it is, but on paper, it is a Black Sabbath cover band that is all McDonald's themed, and all the musicians in the band are McDonald's themed. So it's Ronald Osborne is the lead singer, and then it's Grim Alice is the bass player, Slayer McCheese is the guitar player, and the Cat Burglar is the drummer, and they all kind of have their outfits. And so I have the LP from them, and then I also picked up, you can't really see it, but the shirt, and I got a scarf too that's kind of cool. And it's one of these things that, like I said, on paper I don't think sounds real cool, but I'm going to drop in a clip from the show, and you can just see how cool it was. It was a really fun show, and the LP kind of comes in this like pop-up book with the characters. I'm trying to get you in there. It's cool. It's a little pricey, little much for me. Like, I would have been happy with just the LP. But solid music bands. I'm gonna give you a little just taste of a clip I took from the show. So now we're back. We're going to get into In the Red Records. In the Red Records is one of my favorite kind of long-time running record labels. Started around 91, I believe, and primarily focused on like garage rock, garage music. And so I'm going to give you just 5 In the Red records or In the Red artists that I like. I like a lot more than this, and then it took me some time to even funnel it down. So the first one is King Can and the Barbecue Show. I know the album actually, the sleeve is this way, but the picture's this way. So King Can is an artist I really dig. He's been in The Shrines, which is kind of his James Brown-esque outfit. The Barbecue Show is his garage rock outfit. And then he has solo stuff that I also think is really cool. This is the first Barbecue Show album, and it is just straight garage rock, but garage rock done really well. So I'm going to give you a taste of King Can. So next up is another artist I really enjoy, and I have all their albums. So King Can, his barbecue stuff is on In the Red. Everything else is tons of different record labels. This guy, for the most part, not everything, but this album onward, and I think this was the second or third album, has all been on In the Red, and that's Kid Congo and the Pink Monkey Birds. So Kid Congo, probably most famous for being a guitar player who played with like the Gun Club, he played with the Cramps, he played with Nick Cave, and now he's gone solo. His own band, the Pink Monkey Birds, and they've done a number of really great albums. This is Dracula Boots. I don't know how to describe it. It is garage rocky, and it probably fits in with like the Cramps and stuff. There's a little more atmospheric, a little more creepy at points to it. But I really have gotten into Kid Congo in the last few months. I've been able to pick up everything. Love it. Great music. He's got a What's in My Bag on Amoeba's channel that I really liked. I find him to be very interesting. Apparently he just came out with an autobiography I haven't read it. I'm curious. I need to pick it up. But Kid Congo, I'm going to give you a little taste of it.
It was a rocket. The room was tipping.
All right, so next up is another one of what I would say is my favorites, and I have 2 albums by the band. I actually own all albums by this band. I'm pretty obsessed. But this is the second and the third album, which are probably my favorite, and this is the Dirt Bombs. So we have Ultra Guide in Black, and we have Dangerous Magical Noise. Couldn't think of it there for a second. So everything the Dirt Bombs has done has been on In the Red. The Dirt Bombs is Mick Collins' post-Gories project. So if you're familiar with the Gories, who I think is phenomenal, but those are on Crypt Records, this was his post kind of Gories longest running project. He's also done the Screws. I'm blanking now because I'm on here because he's done so many. Mick Collins is one of those guys that shows up in everything. I think it's actually kind of cool. Jack White seems to let him and Danny Coria, I think is how you say it, who is the guitar player from the Gories, record on Third Man at times, and they've done some kind of blues stuff together that's worth checking out. But Dirt Bombs is just pure magical garage rock, done really well. In fact, Ultra Guide in Black is an all covers record of kind of garage. So they do Chains of Love, Underdog, which is the Sly and the Family Stone. Living for the City is probably the most famous. That's the Stevie Wonder, of course. Man, it is so good. I just, these albums are things that I could throw on anytime. He's got kind of a, he's not really a soul singer. He looks kind of like a soul singer, but he's got kind of this guttural, just kind of howl at times. And Dirt Bombs, man. Oh, Blacktop is another one I really like that's on In the Red. That's another Mick Collins. The guy just keeps putting out really phenomenal stuff. And even when you jump into the Dirt Bombs, no bad Dirt Bomb albums, but when you jump in, there are different sounds. Like there's one where they try to do, this is our Archies, like the Archies, the yummy, yummy, whatever, the kind of Buddha pop stuff. Then they have like their Party Store, which is kind of their like Sparks kind of krautrock kind of dance album, which is, again, really cool. Like, they change their sounds, and I appreciate that. So, Dirt Bombs, I'm going to give you a little... Artist is not entirely on In the Red, and this is actually a greatest hits, but it's a re-recorded greatest hits. It actually works really well, and that is Chain and the Gang. I really dig Chain and the Gang. I like them quite a bit. Free Will, Deathbed Confession. Their whole shtick is like, it's crime rock. It's down with liberty. It's up with chains. Like it's a weird shtick. The guy who's the lead singer is Ian. I never know how to say it. Savinionis, who was in Nation of Ulysses. He was in Weird War. He's done a few different things, but I think really where it comes together is Chain and the Gang. It's garage rock. It's goofy at times. It's not meant to be taken seriously, but then there's kind of this. There is a political message underneath a lot of the times, and so I think it's really well done. Give you a little taste of Chain and the Gang, garage rock.
Man, you do construction. Man, I do destruction. I wanna devitalize the city. I wanna devitalize the air. I wanna devitalize just about everywhere. Keep it down, keep it down, keep it down, keep it bite, shred, tear, just about everywhere. I wanna peel the paint, rust the rails, close everything so nothing's for sale. I want the middle class to feel alone, like strangers in their own home. I wanna rip, bite, shred, tear, just about everywhere.
All right, my last In the Red record for you, and this is another band that is, I believe all their albums are in the Red. This is their latest, and so I'm just showing it because it's their latest. I do like it. I like the other albums a lot too. I think there's 2 before this, and this is the Meat Bodies. So this is 333, half of 666, right? So it's the Meat Bodies. I came onto these guys because they had toured with Ty Segall, and Ty Segall has a few albums on In the Red. I didn't pull any because I've talked about Ty Segall a lot in the past. I love Ty Segall, one of my favorite artists out there working today. And they were touring with them, and so I came on to them, and I really dig it. This is a little heavier than the other stuff. It's a little fuzzier than the other garage rock I've shown. But damn, it's good. Meat Bodies keep putting out really solid music. I'm just giving you 5 that I am listening to currently. So this is the second half. This is the other 5x5. This is the by 5. So this is an artist I've really gotten into in the last few years. This actually isn't his latest album. He has one after this. But I think I want to do a needle drop from a song on here. And this is Nick Waterhouse. So Nick Waterhouse is interesting. He's got a old-timey vibe to him, kind of doo-woppy at points. But it works really well. It doesn't sound dated. I think he puts out very cool music. He's a good songwriter, and there are, like I said, there are some of it is schmaltzy at points. I think his earlier albums suffer from that a little bit more than his later, but great, just kind of throwback, feel good music from a good songwriter. I don't know what else to say about it. I'm gonna give you a taste of Nick Waterhouse. So the next one is an artist that I believe I talked about before on the previous kind of incarnation of the channel. I really love this artist. This is their second album, which I waited for a long time. Came out last few months ago, and this is Sessa. So Sessa is a Tropicalia artist out of Brazil, I guess you would call it. It's kind of folky Tropicalia. I like Tropicalia. Love Ben George. Love Gal Costa. Like Gilberto Gil. I love that stuff. It's a very cool music, and he's kind of carrying that that vibe. This is complete chill out music. This is, you want to relax, you want to get in the right head state to just be mellow. Like, it's this stuff. I pretty much have both of his albums on I have a playlist that I keep running of a few hundred songs at this point, and I have both of his entire albums on there, and they'll come up, and I love it. Very mellow, very laid back, very subdued. Great stuff. Sessa, buy the first album before you can't anymore, because it's so good.
sentimental dentro da sua boca é feriado mundial. Sereia, será?
All right, so next up is a recently repressed record. You couldn't get this for a while; it had gone out of pressing, and I was very excited to get it. You can get their second album. You can get this album now, so go buy it before you can. And you can get their second album, and I think they actually have a third on the way, is what I understand. But this is the Jack Moves. And the Jack Moves is throwback soul music, and soul is having a really beautiful revival right now. I think soul, country, and jazz are three genres that were kind of marginalized for a while and very much suffered from like 90s and 2000s production. And I think there's kind of this rebellion against that, or this pushback against it, to kind of go back to the roots. And so you get bands like the Jack Moves. Feels very much like mellow 70s soul. It is beautiful stuff. Another good album to kind of chill out and throw on. And this is the best of their three. I've the two I know of, and then I've streamed what I think is going to be the third one before. This is just super cool, mellow soul music. Feels like you could have turned it on like 70s AM. But it does, again, like I don't feel like it feels super dated. So I'm gonna give you a little taste of the Jack.
I couldn't escape it. All at once, I finally realized that I love you. All at once, I couldn't escape it. All at once, it hit me and I realized that I love you. I tried, baby, when I met you, to really not give my heart away. I know I seem so cold.
All right, and next up is a guy. This is his first album of I think 4 or 5 at this point. I am partial to this album, though I think all of his albums are really cool. And this is King Cruel. King Cruel may be hard for some people to get into, and I can own that out front. So King Cruel kind of looks like Rick Astley, the red head, kind of scrawny dude, and he plays this music where he kind of sounds like a demented Howlin' Wolf at points. There's kind of guitar, but then like trip hop beats, sometimes like disembodied saxophone. Like it's a little weird, and the first time you throw it on, it's going to be weird. And if you're going to start somewhere, I'd start with this one. I think this is the easiest entry point, but it is all really good. A very creative guy, and the more I listen, the more I hear the music, the more I like the songs, the more I like it. It's just one of those artists. And honestly, on this, like, my favorite song was Easy Easy, and then now I think it's Out Getting Ribs or A Lizard State. Like, my favorite songs even shift. It's just one of those I find something to appreciate every time I listen to it, and I do listen to it with some frequency. So King Cruel, Krule is how you spell cruel on that one. I'm going to give you my very last artist, and I've actually been listening to a ton of this artist over the last year. It was a guy I listened to a lot when I was younger, and I actually have some on CD, and I kind of put them on the shelf, and I've really been getting back into it, and that's 6 Organs of Admittance. So this is Noontide. This is one of my favorite albums of his. I also really like The Sun, Ashes from the Sun, I believe it's called, or The Sun Awakens, and then Ashes. Sorry, I'm not prepped, apparently. So many albums, and they're not, it may take you a little while to find a clean copy, but they're not expensive. Like, these haven't gone up in price, aside from his very first album, which is probably my least favorite, and that one goes for over $100. You can find most of these for $15 to 25, 30 bucks. You can see mine's got a pretty badly dinged corner there. That's always upsetting, but it's a copy, and then the vinyl's really clean. So if you took like John Fahey's kind of guitar playing, and you took kind of like Gabor Zabor and that kind of raga thing he does, and you took like a freak folk band and you just kind of threw those all in a blender, you'd get something like Six Organs of Admittance. At times it feels drony, at times it feels raga-y, at times it feels singer-songwriter-y. There's these kind of fuzzy guitar freakouts at points. It's all really just a magical blend of that. And I think you listen to that stuff and it doesn't sound like, it sounds like it would be hard to pull off, and yet Six Organs of Admittance pulls it off. And so I'm going to give you a little taste of Six Organs of Admittance. Dark Noontide, though I think you could be safe buying any of his albums. And that is Tales from the Crate. I do appreciate you hanging out, trying to keep myself short here so they're digestible. I know that there's a ton of VC channels. I know you got a lot of options. I do appreciate you taking some time and watching here, and hopefully turned you on to some music, or reminded you of something you haven't listened to in a while, or just gave you something to go, yeah, man, I agree. And of course, you know, there's always different opinions. So maybe you don't agree. I don't know. But appreciate you hanging out. You can always check out the radio show, the Tales from the Crate radio show. It's 2 Central, noon Pacific on KBSR Blacksburg Digital Radio. If you go to my link tree down in the comments, you can find how to download the app and you can stream it. Try to give a kind of variety of music stuff you see here today. I will see you next week with a new video. Thank you for watching.